Mm. Cool. Here we go. Back to it.
Glory to the Sindori. The reckoning is at hand.
State your business. Our enemies will fall.
Yes.
Baladash Malinore.
Enubilore Delana. We will have justice.
The dark times will pass. We will have justice.
Wait, what am I supposed to do with this? What's the dealio here? What's the point of this thing? What does this do? Does it do anything? What does it do? Allows bearer full access. Grab things? Grab like... Oh. Wait, hey, whoa, what is that? Oh, that's trash. Can I sell these? No? Well, that's kind of stupid, right? Yeah, got that before. Well, yep, that's pretty stupid. No, there's no point in having that. Right, there's no rail. Okay, so yeah, that's a waste. Don't need that. Okay. It's too inventory slot. No. Oh, I suppose I'll go do these. Oh, no more buff? Make sure I'm keeping track of these. Oh, just let me climb it, you fuck. There you go. Okay. Oh, are you okay? Yeah, yeah, real tough, my guy has no idea what he's doing here. Oh my god, the fails. Oh no. You know what, I'm here. Just grab them anyways. Might as well.
State your business. Keep your wits about you.
Don't even look at me. Don't even look at me. Okay, what are we getting soon? Touch weakness, show pain. Okay, alright, we're gonna be way stronger next level. So close. Oh, I don't even want to start doing these, but here, so might as well. Damn, is there enough shit up here? Grabbing all these. Money that cannot be passed up. Oh, like 10 copper. That's pretty shitty. Big money. Oh, you suck. It's just to waste my time from the plant gathering stream. Don't you come bother me. Don't you, you motherfucker. Time waster. Please die. Oh wow. Actually looking for Black Fathom Depths. It's funny. Okay, so what am I doing here? Just Miracle. You really have to walk this way. Really? Nice. Holy fuck, why does he have to look so damn scary? God damn, chonky boy, oh my god. Sure, it's fine, but jeez, bro. Rip. What is that? What is that? What the fuck was that? Fucking death trap right there, jeez. Oh, bueno. Okay, anyway. Nice. Don't mind me, little fish people. There we go. Yep, just don't mind me at all. I'll kill you anyways. Oh, come on. God, these Murlocs don't run away. Good old Lon cow. Not even worth getting that chest. Not worth my time. Oh, nice. let's see, 4 armor or over 1 silver. I think we're gonna do that.
have justice.
That's, oh my god, that looks terrible. Oh god, even for a low level weapon, that looks awful. We're going to do a little dip in the pool. You son of a bitch, you have to be just annoyingly enough, just far enough away to be annoying. I might as well watch my videos.
Grunt.
What the-
Three different trim levels. Okay, the base model is, and this is absolutely mind-blowing to me. The base model is $399 US. I just saw a comment on Floatplane saying they need to drop the price $100 in order to make this thing attractive. Are you kidding me? This is a full computer for $400. This is basically
in a chip shortage.
This is Chromebook level pricing almost. Except that it's got a built-in, what I'm assuming is high-quality controller, and it's going to be a relatively non-mainstream product. I mean, maybe. Gayban also came out and said they're expecting to sell, quote, millions of these things. But, man, this is an engineering challenge to build these things. You know, Valve's got to make some money. I mean,
There's
they're
someone
just
in
getting by.
Floatplane chat saying rich guy view.
Rich guy view, what are you talking about?
I feel like I
costs.
often don't take the rich guy view, and I would say if you expect that to be $2.99, you're out to freaking lunch. It's not that there's like it's just wishful.
And sure, you could say, oh, I really want this to be $100.
I'd love for it to be $5.
Yeah,
That'd be sweet.
sure. I'd love for it to be. I'd love for it to be 50 cents. You know, maybe I could just wish on a star and one would fall into my lap. But you gotta understand, these things actually cost money. Do you have any idea how much the tooling for this device would have cost? I mean, we're talking Valve was out 7 figures before they even put any computer hardware and even built one, just to do the plastics for it. Like, you gotta understand that, right?
No, not that low, but $100, yes. Yeah, but you're still just pulling that out of your butt. Like that's coming out of nowhere. for the stuff that's in this, especially during a chip shortage, this is not an egregious price.
And-
I would love to say it is, but it's just.
Let's ignore the chip shortage. Because by the time this thing ships, looking at what's happening with GPU pricing in China, we're going to talk about that a little bit later on the show. Who knows? Maybe the chip shortage will be alleviated somewhat. But let's look at what else is on the
they're
market.
probably into manufacturing now.
Because you can't just look at a product in a vacuum, right? You can't just say, well, it's more expensive than I would like, therefore it should be cheaper. Everything has a cost, and everything has to compete with what else is available in the market. So let's look at what else is available in the market. There's the Nintendo Switch, which is $299 US for a flipping 4-year-old ARM CPU with a Tegra a Tegra SoC with an ARM CPU, and what is it, like Maxwell GPU on it? Tegra X1, is it Maxwell? I think it is. Yeah. I mean, we are talking ancient technology. That wasn't cutting edge when the Switch came out 4 years ago. Nintendo wants $299 for that. Okay, now let's look at something that's way more comparable, the Aya Neo, which is the handheld that I've been holding up that is, I think, probably the most comparable thing to the Steam Deck on the market right now. This thing is barely even on the market. So far, they've only done a Indiegogo campaign for it. So I don't even think you can just buy one and have it ship immediately. And now let's have a look at the pricing. Okay, this guy starts at, hold on a second, here we go. It was 880 Canadian dollars, so that's around 700 US dollars.
That sounds like a reasonable price, but let's drop it by $100. Sorry, keep going.
At 100? No,
sorry. It was a joke based on the comment. Anyway,
okay,
sorry,
that's $300 higher with what is essentially very similar hardware. Okay, not quite $300 higher because we're comparing it to the base model. So let's go back to the
base model's pretty good though. Yeah, I do want to jump in there. So I'm just going to go through the model stuff quickly. The base model is $399 US. It has 64 gigs of eMMC flash storage, and that's it. You're just getting the device. That's it. If you go up to the $529 US model, you get 256 gigs of storage. You get a carrying case, and you get a Steam community profile. Might as well. If you go up a bit more, about 120 bucks. To $649 US, you go up to 512 gigs of NVMe storage. You get an exclusive carrying case, you get an exclusive Steam community profile, and you get an exclusive virtual keyboard theme. Whatever. Something to note.
Yeah.
Those NVMe drives, replaceable.
Yep. So they're 30
Crazy.
millimeter NVMe drives. This is where we get into the comparisons with the Aya Neo a little bit. So the Aya Neo, at its cheapest early bird price, was $50 more than the comparably equipped Steam Deck.
There's a problem with the notes. The base model does include a carrying case. The main difference on these two, the main difference is that you go from 64 gigs of eMMC to 256 gigs of NVMe, just straight up. Okay. So it's faster storage, more storage, not a carrying case thing, and you get the community profile.
So why don't we jump right into our headline topic, the Valve Steam Deck. And I want to start with what is going to be my harshest criticism of this new hardware endeavor from Valve.
Yes, okay.
All right, this is my hot take. This is the worst thing about it. The name sucks.
It's terrible.
It's terrible. It's terrible. Yeah. The Stream Deck has existed for years.
Yes.
For years, the Elgato Stream Deck, which is even a gaming device, for years it's existed, it's been in the market, and it's the only thing that kind of sounds like that.
Which, is external to the computer and technically has screens on it and is flat and is black.
Why?
Which is, even more annoying.
Why deck?
Yeah, that too. What? I don't know. I understand the Stream Deck. That actually does make sense to me. Steam Deck, no.
Steam Boy, I'd have been like, lol, okay, and Nintendo's coming for ya. You know,
Nintendo would be coming for them, yeah, for sure.
Steam. Okay, so here, fine. It's not helpful to
come on.
criticize something unless you
Get some
come
of
up
these
with something better.
Firefox.
So Luke, we got to work on this then. So Steam.
Well, there's been a pretty good one. There's been two. There's one that I like more. So to get the community ones first before we try to come up with things.
Hit me.
There's one in the doc that calls it's called the Gabe Boy. There's the Gabe Boy, Game Boy Advanced, and Game Boy Advance SP. That one's funny. I believe that was put in here by Anthony. No. Anthony contributed a very large amount of topics this week, so we only really have a doc because of Anthony. So thank you, Anthony. Very funny.
What a king.
But the other, I agree. That wasn't sarcastic. That was actually, I know it could probably sound that way, but it wasn't. We would have like 2 topics if it wasn't for Anthony. He actually completely bailed us out. Thank you very much. But the other community one, which I do think is better, is Gabe Gear.
No, you can't have Gabe's name in the name of the thing. Like, I have no problem with them calling it Steam something. You know, Steam Pad or Steam. I don't know. Steam. I mean, what's something kind of like
Steam Deck is too close to Stream Deck. That's all. That's just the main problem. And it's not an unheard of device. A lot of people know the Stream Deck, so it's like it's just annoying. Honestly, when I first read the name, I thought it was called Stream Deck, and I thought they just straight up completely ripped off the name from Elgato.
Because it's not like Valve doesn't have a streaming service. Well,
that
not
was
really a
my
service,
whole
but
thought was like, yeah, okay, so this is to remotely play games from your desktop
using
like,
Valve and
right.
like Steam and home streaming, which I don't know what they call it. And remote play is it called? No, remote play is when you're playing a local multiplayer game with someone remotely. Sorry, I can't keep track of all the different things they call stuff. The point is,
supposed to really call it Steam Deck.
I'm frustrated. The good news is that everything else about this thing looks absolutely freaking awesome. Let's haul up the product page here. Man, I even typed Stream Deck while I was trying to search for it. Bloody hell. Okay.
It's your mind immediately goes to Stream Deck. It's a problem.
Oh, that's not the screen capture that I wanted. What happened to my... Oh, no, here we go. That's better. Steam Deck. Here it is, ladies and gentlemen. So,
one thing before you get too far into it.
Yes.
Can they see the layout of it on your screen right now?
The layout of the PC?
Of the Steam Deck. Yeah.
Ignore the pricing, guys. I'm stuck on the Canadian site and I can't immediately figure out how to change it. So this is Canadian pricing. So whatever. Oh,
so my favorite thing, if they can see it, is that it more closely resembles a Wii U gamepad than most other things I have seen so far. And the Wii U gamepad was actually a delight to use. It was fantastic. I actually preferred it over the standard controllers. It was really nice. And one of the things with that is that the thumbsticks are at the top.
Okay, you're getting into nitty-gritty details here, but we got to give people the general lowdown.
Okay.
Luke, we got to give them the lowdown. So here's the basic specs. It's got a 7-inch display. It's touchscreen. It's 1280 by 800, so that's a 16 by 10 aspect ratio. 400 nits typical brightness. It's got an ambient light sensor, so that's going to help you conserve battery if you're in a dim area or whatever the case may be. It's got a Zen 2 APU, 4 cores, 8 threads, running at anywhere from, up to 3.5 gigahertz boost and up to 15 watts TDP. It's got 8 RDNA 2 CUs that run it up to 1.6 gigahertz. So this thing is actually going to be capable of running AAA games. Now, not AAA games at 4K resolution in dock mode or anything stupid like that. It's still, of this earth. It's not like they went to the future and brought back technology with them. But it is going to have some serious grunt considering its size. It weighs 1.47 pounds, so that's just under 700 grams, 669 grams, which is pretty beefy, and maybe this is our opportunity.
Some engineer must have pulled off a couple grams there to make that work. I swear that happened.
669
that
grams.
must have happened. Yes.
I wouldn't put it past them. But I think this is the first time, this is where we can get into a little bit of a deeper dive conversation. One of the things that you immediately said was, wow, this reminds me of the Wii U gamepad controller. Unfortunately, This thing weighs 67% more than a Nintendo Switch plus Joy-Cons, and considering that the Wii U controller was just a screen and buttons
It's
and
really light.
wireless, yeah, it was extremely light. That's one of the reasons that the Wii U controller was so comfortable. It was
True.
also thick because it wasn't
Yes.
designed to be carried out and about with you. The Steam Deck is obviously thinner and is going for something more
Nice.
akin to a Nintendo Switch type of experience. So that's something that is immediately going to be tough, but I also have a counter argument to that I'll get into a little bit later that involves this guy right here.
My main note about the Wii U controller
Yeah.
is the way that this shoulder button, and I'm not saying this hasn't been done before by any alternatives, which is I think what you're kind of getting into, but the way that the
Fuck outta here.
way you
Really?
hold it is shaped,
Trolling
the
me
way
now.
the triggers are shaped,
Those
and the
grips.
position of the thumbsticks and the ABXY buttons. That is all very nice. One of my biggest issues with the Switch was that they put that one thumbstick in like the middle of the controller,
Yeah.
and it made it really weird. And I really liked that the Wii U had both the thumbsticks way at the top, and it was kind of less great that the ABXY was below it, but you almost never used that, so it didn't matter. And I think it's pretty
Nice,
cool in this one
nice.
how they're side by side. I don't think that's going to be uncomfortable to control.
With smaller
It might
hands,
be for small hands.
I
I'm
have
not
some
sure.
concerns. Like if my
Okay.
kids tried to use this thing, for my hands it looks okay. But if like my kids tried to use it or something like that, I think it might be a little bit more challenging.
Right.
It looks pretty darn well thought out, and Valve has a history of thinking through the ergonomics of things, at least to the point where you can definitely go, well, they definitely thought this through. I mean, the Steam controller, bloody hell, what they call that thing? Did they just call it Steam controller? They did. The Steam
think so.
controller was ergonomic. It's just that the touchpad didn't really work for me. What's fascinating about this is that they clearly haven't abandoned the touchpad paradigm. They just have recognized now that it's not perfect for everything. They had us using the touchpad instead of joysticks, whereas here, now we've got a touchpad, well, actually, rather, touchpads in
Yeah.
addition to joysticks, which opens up all kinds of options, both for ambidextrous players, for left-handed players, as well as for different gameplay styles, or different genres of games that you might want to play. That's extremely exciting, and I'm stoked to try it. Now, it's got 16 gigs of LPDDR5 memory. It's got a 40 watt-hour battery. That is extremely impressive considering the size of this thing. Stereo speakers, analog triggers, which is a big deal. That's one of my complaints about the thing that I was going to talk about a little bit later. A micro SD card, up to 512 gigs of M.2 storage on board, depending on which trim level you spring for. And these twin 32.5mm touchpads claim that they have 55% better latency compared to the Steam controller's touchpads. They are pressure sensitive and have HD haptics. So that's just improved feedback on the touchpads when you're swiping across them, pressing on them, all that kind of stuff. Man, 6-axis motion sensitivity. Okay, that's pretty cool. We did a video recently where I tried using the PlayStation 4 controller's gyro capabilities to game on PC. There's like a hacky way that you could do it, and I was shocked at how intuitive it was compared to trying to fine-tune operate a joystick. There's pro gamers out there that are great at it. That's fine. That's great. That's wonderful. But for someone who hasn't spent their whole life working on that skill, boy, is a gyro
I think
ever
there's going to be some advanced tactic stuff too, where you do a combination. Use the thumbstick for like big sweeping movements, then you micro adjust with the aiming. But I think there's something that wasn't mentioned here, or maybe I missed it, maybe you said it and I didn't hear it. But there's also the grip buttons on the
I
back.
knew there had to be a chest
Yes.
spawn up here.
I really like, especially like it's always been really cool in the Elite controllers and stuff, but I think on this it makes even more sense because, like I was talking about earlier, all your controls being at the top, the thumbsticks being
Silver
in
bar,
probably
nice.
the
That's
best
actually
position,
big.
which is the outside. I think I'm correct with that. The inside, sorry. Yeah, the outside is maybe a little weird, but having those buttons on the back is going to make it so you don't have to move off, which on a heavy device, I think is going to actually be a pretty big deal.
Yep.
Being able to keep your hands in one spot and being able to press buttons there, I think is going to be a much bigger deal than it's ever been on a controller. I think it's going to be very, very important. on this device.
Absolutely. It's got 2x2 AC Wi-Fi, Bluetooth 5.0, a dual microphone array. It can output 8K 60 because it's got DisplayPort 1.4 built into its USB Type-C port, and you can also use the USB-C port to connect to the official dock. Yes, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. There's a dock too. It'll be sold separately. More information coming soon, but it's got DisplayPort, HDMI, Type-C, as well as that looks like an audio jack. Hold on a second, it's in my notes. USB 3.1 Type A, so 2 of those. Effectively, it turns this into a full desktop PC experience. There's Ethernet, and so there's one USB 3, 2 USB 2s. Sorry, I think I misspoke earlier. I don't see... That's probably power. That's probably power over on the left there, because I would expect you to handle audio just plugging into the jack that's built into the Steam Deck itself. Man, I hope they get the joysticks right. I mean, it seems like everyone and their dog is going through joystick gate right now, whether it's Nintendo with their drift or whether it's Sony that's had a real heck of a time with feedback on their PlayStation 5 controller, which is otherwise freaking awesome, to the point where Microsoft is reportedly looking at doing a mid-generation refresh of their controller to try and achieve something closer to feature parity. I hope Valve gets it just right on this thing, but the reality of it is that it's extremely challenging to build both an accurate and robust joystick in something that is so low profile. I understand why everyone's screwing it up, even companies that have a ton of experience. I just don't like it because joystick's not working. Sucks.
The dark times will pass.
Absolutely sucks.
If there's anything that's going to make you want to put a game down, that's definitely one of them.
Okay.
An official dock is going to be sold separately. This is actually super cool.
Oh, we talked about
I like
that already.
this. Oh, sorry.
Yep.
I hope there's unofficial ones as well.
One thing that's kind of stupid about the official dock and about the device, actually, I'm not a huge fan of this. I saw some praise for it, for having its USB-C charging port on the top, because they said it'll make it easier to game while you're charging. Yeah, I can see that, because especially with a heavy device like this one, this weighs about the same amount. Sometimes I do find myself wanting to rest it, but I also don't mind.
Why the fuck would I heard that's like 2 feet
this
away?
with my wrists, making it so that the cable can get out, and having something hanging off the top, I'm not a huge fan of that, especially if it's kind of a bulkier wire. And it also makes the dock kind of stupid, because their dock requires you to put the thing in and then run a cable. So it's not really a dock so much as it's a dongle.
You might have already said this, considering you already mentioned the dock, but they also said that regular USB-C adapters will work fine.
That's cool.
All, I doubt actually all, but they said all USB-C docks will work. So,
I mean, I see no reason why one wouldn't.
Yeah, I just, I don't know. A hazard to say just like literally anything will function.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
All right.
But I don't suspect you're going to run into issues, is what I'm trying to get across.
This is great. Hershey Chap over on Floatplane says, it would be cool if Linux was on the Steam Deck, kind of like Steam machines. Hey, I'm so glad you brought it up, because yes, it is running SteamOS, what is it, SteamOS 3.0? Hold on, blah, blah, blah. Oh, where's my notes? Yep, SteamOS 3.0, which is Arch Linux based. It's got, let's see, hold on, there's some really good information in here. Yes. Now, obviously, because it's Linux, you're going to have some issues with game compatibility, particularly games with strong anti-cheat. So there's a handful of games, including, shoot, which one was I? I was looking at a list of them before this, and now I've gone and misplaced it. But 4 of the top 10 games on Steam right now have issues with anti-cheat in Linux, running Valve's Proton. But Valve is apparently reaching out to those developers and trying to work specifically on those games to make sure that Proton, which is a compatibility layer that allows you to run Windows games on Linux, will have proper support for those. I am pretty excited. So this is a quote.
if you ever end up in a Linux debate or a Linux conversation in general, after owning one of these, you can confidently say that you run Arch.
I know, right? So their goal is for every game to work with Proton by the time they ship Steam Deck. That should give you some idea of how long this has been in the works. What it seems like is they basically tried that whole Steam Machines thing, which was like the desktop, or rather the TV consoles, kind of went, okay, yeah, this didn't work. We didn't do the whole killer app thing. Also, it's just a computer. It's hard to compete against just computers. Forget it. See you later. That project clearly never died. It looks like it just transitioned to a handheld, and the timing is so right for this to happen.
Keep your wits about you.
I'm already 11? Did I just hit 10? What the heck?
What do you see? Remember the sun well. I have one-of-a-kind items.
Not even a little bit. Oh, actually, I'd probably hold on to it. Okay, time to take a bank trip now. For sure. Wait, what do you sell? No name on the vendor?
We will persevere.
Oh,
The reckoning is at hand.
they are cute, but I don't have money for that. Ah, you big pig. Big dumb pig. That's right, I get a bonfire on the way out. Nice. Nice, 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 nice.
Anaria Shola. Remember the Sunwell.
Oh, you baited me?
State your business. Farewell.
Oh, dude, baited. Fuck's my shit up. Fuck, I didn't stop at the oh, I'm an idiot. Oh well.
I'm wasting away. No.
Our enemies will fall. We will have justice.
What a world. I'm not a witch. I'm an old person. Accelerated growth. I have so many fears and regrets, and I wish that I would have done this. And what were we fighting about, Joe? Oh, I don't remember. guys, welcome to our review of M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong's review of film, rather, of his new film, Old. This has a pretty cool, interesting premise. Trailers were interesting
Just
to
tell
me.
me he's not like a bajillion miles away.
It looks like a vacation spot, beach.
Oh,
For some
literally
reason,
the
you bring
furthest
your
away
kids, but
it's
for some
actually
reason your
possible.
kids are
That's fucking really
start
annoying.
off 6, 7 years old, and all of a sudden they're 10 and
Just fucking good
teenagers,
time.
and now they're adults, and things are going on, and it's like, how is this happening? People are aging and people are dying. Are we gonna get out of here? What the hell is going on? That's sort of the premise. And it's M. Night Shyamalan, so you get a twist. It's not kind of like you always got it, and that's what
15,
he's
huh?
known for. This guy cannot refrain from putting himself in his film. I don't know why he keeps doing it, but of course you've got the regular cameo of for M. Night. But yeah. So Old, huh? I'll say this for the film. I was entertained. I wanted to know where it was going, how it was going to end, if there was a satisfying payoff. And
Death to all who oppose us.
there's sort of good moments of body horror, and the concept is interesting. The execution, though, at certain moments is very silly, stupid.
Also, what he's known for.
Yeah, silly, stupid. I don't know what he was doing with the cinematography, if he did the cinematography as well. He's like framing things purposefully wrong. In film school they teach you, you gotta frame things, don't cut people's heads off, don't have half a face in the frame or at least one that's talking. Yeah, well, he's trying to do a little of the fanciful art stuff. But ultimately, I think Old was mixed. And I've seen far worse in terms of thrillers and horrors and these sort of high concept films. What did you guys think?
I hated it. I think that this is a concept that's not his, by the way. It comes from a graphic novel that's pretty well, people like it, and I'm told it's very good. So he didn't come up.
Anything his?
Yeah, well, so it's like he didn't come up with any of it. So what we got was he did the dialogue, which was bad. The dialogue in this movie is.
I couldn't tell whether it was the actors that were fucking annoying me and being bad.
There are 3 lines in the first 30 seconds of this car. There's a car ride where the parents are like, "I can't wait to see what your voice sounds like when you're older. I wish we could spend so much time together."
Get it?
Get it? Because this movie's about old. That is the kind of level of shitty dialogue in here. There's a guy who's an actuary, and he tells you he's an actuary 3 fucking times. He will not stop talking about percentages. The lady.
Everybody was speaking like a child.
And these are the adults. The kids are kids. I don't have any actually. I think the kid, the actors and
Annoying
actresses
voices. At least the initial.
did well.
Did fine. Yeah.
They did fine, but all of the things that he touched in this movie, which is not the main story, the ending, and all the dialogue, I didn't like. How does a movie about the acceleration of time feel like it took 4 fucking hours to finish? It just it kept going and going and going. I'm like, okay, cool. We're building
like multiple endings almost.
Yeah, it's like, where are we going? We're gonna get somewhere cool like this. We're getting towards the end, and then it just kind of went, and did nothing. There was no satisfying. There was no not satisfying.
Excuse me.
It
you just don't understand, Alex.
I don't know.
Did you not understand about arguments or meaningless and
that's the
fighting against
enjoying
death.
time
Yeah.
now.
Enjoy the time.
That's actually
have.
the basis of the comic, right? The acceptance of death and like, hey, stop trying to escape and enjoy the time that you got with your family. This did nothing with any of that shit.
Wasn't
And
it?
he went on this wild adventure with his own cameo, doing stupid shit.
I'm an expert.
There was no.
He did have. I mean, when you say it does nothing with that, he does put in scenes to try to address it, but they don't really.
One.
First half.
There was
First
one.
half.
There was like
I would
one.
say-
That's not even in the first half. It's later on, Joe.
I like the 2 parents you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
And so it's like I thought that scene was great. And then we have all these families, and there's no like emotional connection to them. They're not pressing on the emotion with these families. There's one scene, and it's so after everything has happened.
It's mostly let's figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, and I'm gonna give you a spoiler. It is not worth finding out what's going on. Don't fucking go watch this movie.
Let's have a spoiler section.
Yeah, I'm not gonna.
Joe, what about you?
All I gotta say is this movie's gonna get old real fast, huh?
Oh my God! You made me wait for that one.
That's a
Yes.
good one.
Come on.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
No, honestly, like, I thought it was an
It
average
didn't get
film.
old fast for me. I was intrigued all
I
the
was.
way through.
I was not all the way through. Like, I was like, okay, this is an average film. But then, like, I was like, all right, where is this going? I was still kind of intrigued. But then, like, you knew the twist was coming. I was just super let down. I was like, oh God, I wasted this time for nothing. That was
You
a
felt
waste
it
of
was a
time.
waste of time?
Yeah.
After we
Yeah.
figured out the ending, I feel like it's a
Because I
total
thought it was an
complete
average
waste of
film,
time.
and then once you find out what's going on, I was like, that kind of brought it down for me. But
I'm not really sure how he could have ended it, but they really does at least give you the payoff, a complete story,
It's a
and
complete
everything
story,
wraps
yes.
up.
Well, yes,
maybe a little too neatly. You know, where I guess I was just expecting the film to explain nothing. It's very mysterious, and the beach is the beach, and then
Oh,
you
that's
move on,
cool as fuck,
right?
actually.
But because it didn't do that, it kind of went up for me. I was like, I kind of actually like the fact that we know what the hell's going on.
Oh, which ending did
Little
you like?
self-contained story, and we're moving on.
Because, like you said, it felt like it was gonna end, and then they kept going with stuff, and I was like, oh, okay. And then it felt like it was gonna end, and then it kept going with stuff, and then it felt like it was gonna end, and he couldn't. There was no stopping point for him. He's like, no, we're gonna have 4 endings in this movie.
Yeah, but I think I would have been a little disappointed if they didn't wrap up some of the loose plot ends that they set up at the beginning of the film, and then just have them, you know, figure out what's going on, and then move
What?
on
This
and
isn't
never
plugged in?
actually deal with the situation at hand. And this film actually deals with the situation. So I will agree with y'all in that, you know, it may have overstayed its welcome a little
Yeah.
bit because it does feel like a Twilight Zone episode that could be
Yeah.
stretched out. It's a stretched out Twilight Zone episode. I think it is at the level of concept, execution, intrigue as of a television episode. Just stretched
30 minutes,
out.
40 minutes, really.
Yeah, stretched out with some weird filmmaking decisions as M. Night is, I'm an artiste, you know, kind of thing. There was some cool shots here and there. I mean, you're filming on a fucking beautiful beach. There has to be. There was some.
I actually
but
want these
ultimately,
shoulders.
kind of a mixed experience. We can't really say much
I'm gonna get 'em. I'm
because
gonna
we
get
don't
these
want
shoulders.
to spoil, you know, what's going on here. But as you tell, the subtext is there. It's pretty obvious what the film is about.
Oh, yeah,
but-
right from the get-go. They say a lot.
All right, well, shit. What else? What else you want
That's
to talk
all we
about
could
there?
actually
I mean,
pretty
I
much
can't
say,
get into,
though.
like,
We
a lot
can't
of
get
the
into
issues.
the rest of the stuff.
Okay, well, so yeah, go ahead.
I like the premise of this movie, which, you know, again, I'm going to give credit to the people who originally wrote it. I do like the premise. The dialogue was so weak almost all the way throughout. It breaks its own rules constantly.
Yeah.
Constantly it is break because you're trying to you are intrigued by what's happening, where is it coming from. It's a Shyamalan movie, which adds to it. You're looking at how are these characters aging, how are these things working, and because I'm paying attention, you can't be paying attention.
Yeah.
You can't, because if you're paying attention, you're gonna be like, wait a minute, how is this so inconsistent? Why is this not working this way?
Yeah.
And I'm constantly getting pulled out of the movie by dumb shit.
Yeah, so for every one good, intriguing thing that happens, there's one like, wait, what? What are you doing? Okay, let me try.
Yeah, I know.
So what I'm trying to say is that, you know, it's supposed to be creepy and just mysterious, creepy. But then there's times where I'm just like laughing. I'm like, are you fucking serious? And then times where I'm like creeped out in the wrong way. I'm like, what are you doing
I was
at
laughing.
night? Like, what is
I don't
that?
know if you heard me. I was started laughing. It's
Yeah,
supposed to be
there's
a
a
horror
yeah,
scene.
it's a hoot.
I started laughing. I was like, that was dumb. That was dumb.
This is dumb. What is happening?
I heard a few people laughing and hollering and hooting.
Not in a scene where it was appropriate to be
It
doing
wasn't.
any of that
I
stuff.
just started laughing. I was like, oh shit, I'm sorry.
Oh, you okay? Well, you have to tell me.
I will. I
yeah.
will.
So
Yeah. I can't
Yeah,
tell
we
you
can't
now.
talk about any of it right now.
okay, so you know what can I tell you? It was a mixed experience. I think
Yes.
it's better than your average like horror thriller that you find on Amazon. That we're all starved for content
Shut
right
your
now.
mouth. There's some good
I think
stuff
it's
on
better.
Amazon.
Sure, I know there's good stuff, like good stuff that has already come out. But like if you like digging through the stuff like we are now, it's better than a lot of that.
that's
Do I
it?
think
No
you
more?
should go out in the theater to see it? No. I think you can save your money,
I could
wait
just
till
keep
this is
doing
on
it.
one of the
That's
services
lame.
that you're already paying for, and then check it out then. This is not M. Night in his what is it? Split? Right?
He did
What's
split.
the, yeah,
Yeah, he
it's
did
not in his
split.
split form. I think that was one of his best
Unbreakable.
films. Yeah, Unbreakable. Yeah, but I think this one is far less than him.
Oh,
so
yeah.
let's go and give our final verdicts.
Final verdicts for me. I thought it was an average film till the end. Leaning between a 4 and a 5. I do like that actor, the dad. I liked him in Sleep of Science. If you haven't seen it,
Science
check it
of
out.
Sleep.
Science of Sleep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
you should
great.
check that one out. Pretty good. He's a
Gael
Mexican
Garcia,
actor.
yeah.
Yes. The mom was like, meh. It seemed kind of weird.
Anaria Shola.
Her acting was kind of weird.
Well, her accent kept coming in and out.
Yeah, and that's just like, whatever.
Did the film work for you?
It did for a bit, but then I was like, okay, I understand the message. And then it just kind of dragged on for a while. I was like, okay. And then I was not along for some of the ride. And how can you be at the beach for like 50 years and never get sunburned?
There's a lot of white people. There's a lot of white people in there. so
Explain that to me.
Okay.
Nobody got a tan.
Right. No.
That girl was
like
pasty.
Cancer, yeah.
That girl was pasty as fuck the entire time. How did she not get tan?
Thank you, Joe, for asking the important questions.
That's what I'm here for, guys.
Okay.
So did you give it a
4.
Ouch.
Because
Okay.
of the ending that dropped it.
Okay, you didn't like it. Alex.
I also did not like it. I think it's a really cool concept that was executed incredibly poorly. It needed someone else working on the dialogue and the script. It needed someone else evening out the tone of the movie. There were some like wild swings in the pacing and like things working. I do appreciate some of the body horror stuff. I think that the makeup artists and the VFX people did an incredible job, except for the CG blood coming out of that guy's nose. Why? There was some really cool stuff here. I just don't think that he did this story any favors, and I think that someone else needed to help him. It's like give Jordan Peele this and say like, hey, could you do something different with it, please? It was building. I was intrigued. There was thrilling parts for me in the middle of this movie, and it kept building up into something. It just built up to a point that into nothing exciting, and then I thought it was going to end, and it was like, okay, well, at least I'm out of this movie. And then it kept going, and then it kind of ended again, and then it kept going, and it kind of ended again, and then it ended, and then it's a movie. And so I think this is a below-average film. I think it's a 4.
Okay, cool. Well, I disagree with you a little bit. It kept me entertained a little more. I like the high concept. I think it's mixed. He does execute some of it well, and some of it turns into straight like what do you know? This is completely counter to what we've seen before. That probably wouldn't happen like that. So it's difficult there. But I did appreciate the payoff where we get one complete story, and it's not sort of left open to where you're like, what the fuck was that? That was unsatisfying. I see the story, got it, understood your message. Say, I'll forget it in a week or two. It's a consumable little thing like that. Better than a lot of the shit that I've seen recently in thrillers. So I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10. I think it's slightly above average. I can see 5, 6, something like that. Depending on whether you like the ending. And this is one of those films. It's like it's either not working for you or it's working. Yeah. But even when it's working, I don't think you can get up to like 9, 10. It's
that's
not.
kind of how it was with like the Village. I was like, ooh, this is cool, mysterious, and you find out the ending is
Oh, that was a disappointment.
Cool concept. You didn't do it right. Cool concept. Didn't do it right. Cool
All
concept.
right, if none of that intrigued you, the trailer didn't intrigue you, you can stick with us in the spoiler section. We'll tell you exactly what the hell's going on.
Yep.
And how it was solved. All right? We'll spoil it for you and save your money if you don't want to see it. But I think it's probably, you could see it, just don't spend money at the theater. All right? All right, that's it. Thank you all so much for watching. If you want to stick in the spoilers, we're going to do it now. All right? Bye, guys. Hey guys, welcome to the spoiler section. So it is a sci-fi premise here, as he does kind of somewhat often. It turns out that the beach itself...
I thought it was aliens.
Thought it was aliens. They were shooting a ray at him, an aging ray.
Oh man,
yeah,
crazy
explain
shit.
your alien concept, Joe.
See, what happened was they're lizard people at that resort.
Yeah.
They're like, all right, we need to get these people in this thing for something.
Cool. And it was like a tube, and, and then everybody was
a
being
series of
manipulated.
tubes.
Maybe,
Okay,
I don't know.
I like that. No, instead, magnets,
Rock magnets.
properties,
But I will say the mom got hot
special
at the
minerals.
end. Right? No, just me.
What?
Oh, okay.
The mom got
She
what?
got old.
She got hot at the end. Joe, you're scaring me. You're scaring me with your guilt and stuff. Anyway,
Samuro.
so obviously it starts with this family, and I couldn't quite jump on board with the family. Super kind of awkward dialogue, and real overtly annoying. You know what they're setting up. And
Yeah,
then
right off the
they
get-go.
arrive at the hotel, and I can tell right away with the reception that they got and all the activities that these motherfuckers are behind it. They know what the fuck is going on.
These dumb motherfuckers who are capturing people and sending them to a beach, but are also running a fairly legitimate beach resort for no fucking reason at all. This place is filled with other guests for no fucking reason at all.
That's part of
Do
the
you think
subterfuge.
the stakeholders are like, hey man, you can make these billion-dollar things with all these people that you're testing, but I need you to sell some Mai Tais. So
Yeah,
can you
it's
run
gotta be
can you run a resort?
legitimate, Alex, so that there's no
It
suspicion.
looks like a nice resort, though.
I know. I'd like to go to the resort and just not be selected. Like, how do you get selected to be one of the assholes that
Down
gets
with
to
the
go to the
sickness.
thrown in the old beach? Yeah, you gotta be down with the sickness.
You gotta
have
be
to-
sick in some way.
Some kind of sickness, so that they can test you to see with drugs that they give you at these cocktails right at the beginning. They have drinks. What if you don't like drinks? Well, then they don't select you, I guess. They make sure that you're drinkers. Anyway, so you take their cocktail, and it's basically trial drugs. And they get to test a trial drug in a day instead of testing it over 10 years. That's the fucking premise. That's what they do with this area. So it had been discovered
that's
before. This twist ending was the very next scene. We're in a science, lab, and then it's scrolling, and then
'Cause
there
you
was
keep
an
seeing 'em, though,
expedition
from the
team that
beach
discovered it,
cliff.
and these are the names of all the people that passed away to find this, and then all the scientists are super serious, and they're clapping for themselves, and they're smelling their own farts and shit. It's like, we are doing the world a great service. We helped cure, what was the
She
thing?
had
Epilepsy.
seizures.
Yeah, the seizures.
Except for
that
the
one.
drugs didn't officially work because she takes the cocktail the second she gets there, and the first thing that she does is have a seizure.
That's what I was thinking.
That didn't make sense. You just found a plot hole.
Yeah,
There's
There
a
are
lot
many
of them.
plot holes
This
in
movie
this film.
It's
We
not
can go
written
over
very
some.
super well.
Right, we can go over some of them, but that's the premise. So then they tell these guests, well, there's a special little beach that you go to, and when you go to it, there's rocks, the sheer cliff, and apparently there's a small crack in it that you walk. Doesn't make any sense that the magnetic field doesn't affect you when you go in, but then if you try to immediately turn around and go out, you get disoriented and your head has a lot of pressure, and you pass
It's
out,
like you're
you
being,
black
like,
out.
Yeah, they never
Millions of
explain any of
miles.
that.
Now,
that
how
whole thing.
you black out back at the beach instead of blacking out right where you
Because
fell.
they said you go like this, backwards.
Yeah.
They said.
No,
like-
they didn't.
Yeah, they did.
That is the
I shit you not.
stupidest thing I've
They
ever
said,
heard.
"Are you okay?"
They
Because you
don't-
were like holding your head, backpedaling, and you passed out.
Well, I just thought that he.
Yeah. So this
That's
is
what- that's how they
Every
get to the
single
beach.
person gets
Yes.
back out.
yeah.
Okay.
This is the magic part of the thing,
Yeah,
where because
they're
they
like,
try to
"What?"
make it sciencey, but there's also magic where it's like, no, the rocks are making you
It's a
pass
little
out.
bit of
and-
happening, Joe.
Yeah,
and
it's
walking
not-
backwards and shit. He's doing
Yeah,
it.
because you see him.
He's
like,
doing it
"Yeah."
again.
Yeah.
And
That's what happens.
okay, so anyway, so they're on the beach now, and what happened?
They meet. So the one part of writing, the best writing in this entire movie.
Joke. The guy's name?
The Mid-Size Sedan is my favorite rapper name of all time right now. His
So
name. There's a
there's
rapper named Mid-Size Sedan. It's
Yeah.
like, I love that.
Yeah. There's a super attractive dude on the beach. He's muscular. He looks like, he's dressed all nice. And then one of the daughters like, oh my God, that's one of my favorite rappers. It's Mid-Size Sedan. I was like, hey, say what? Mid-Size Sedan. And later on in the movie, they're like, what's your name? He's like, Mid-Size Sedan. It made me crack up so
Yes.
much. I loved him.
I don't understand. Because he was there already before.
Don't think about any of this shit. You're not
That's
supposed
what
He
I'm
to.
should
saying.
have been aged a lot longer.
Exactly.
All of these
'cause he
people
was
are
already
like, no,
there
no,
a
none of that
day
shit is good.
before.
Yes.
He doesn't actually react to anybody when they walk
Uh-huh.
in. He's just kind of, I guess, in shock, just waiting for her. I thought the time was going to be different. I don't know, whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
But again, a lot of plot holes in the film, essentially. But anyway,
They made a
the
joke
people
about
that
it,
go over there are suspicious of him, or at least there's this doctor character that seems to be slightly racist.
Rest in
Just kinda-
peace, my guy.
Slightly.
Yeah,
This
he's
guy
just-
goes on like the biggest racial
Well, he tries
tirade.
to
He's like,
hide
this
his
black
racism.
guy is gonna break into my house and steal my and he
Well, that's
shouts
what
that.
I'm saying. Initially, slightly racist,
yelling
and then it
senile.
opens up to later
Yeah.
on where he's literally stabbing him because he thinks he's taking a shit in his house. He's basically losing his mind. Some people get over senile.
He was a schizophrenic.
Okay, do not
Correct.
fuck with these guys.
So, but here's
100%
where it starts to
take
get
every
weird,
single
like,
fight seriously.
Then the kids are aging super fast, and they're like 6 or
Yeah.
7, but they're in adult bodies or teenager bodies, and they're like caressing each other, and they're like, oh, I'm just feeling all these feelings, and then they cut away.
Oh my
and then
God,
they do
this
something
is
else, and then when
scary
we
as
cut back,
fuck.
The kids are like, where are the kids? And the kids walk out, and the chick is pregnant.
The
Like,
6-year-old
what the
had
fuck?
sex with
So
the
you're
5-year-old.
talking like, what the fuck, M. Night? Like, this is super uncomfortable. What are you talking about? Oh, we were just playing. I was like, that is not. Don't do this.
That's not.
And what was it done for? Just to
Okay,
make the
we
point
don't
that
on this.
babies are accelerated, just like everybody's aging. We get the fucking point. The point has already been gotten. But anyway, she's pregnant, and then within 20 minutes she's in labor, gives birth, and then within 1 minute the little baby is dead.
The time doesn't make any goddamn sense.
Well, Joe, I don't.
Nothing
Nothing
is.
makes sense.
I'm not
in
going
this.
to do the mathematical calculations to see if the times and minutes were exactly as it should be. I don't give a fuck about it. But it was a pointless scene, which drives the little girl, this 6-year-old little girl, insane, and she tries to climb the fucking cliff to get out, and because they pass out, when they go in, but they also pass out when you go up, because then she falls.
She slams into the rocks.
Slams into the rocks.
Now this
They
is
don't-
up
yeah.
to that point is when he that's where like the comic kind of leads up to, and all of the kids acted like kids up until this point. So the guy, even though he's 18 years old or 20 something years old, he's still acting like a 6-year-old. The woman who just gave birth is still acting like a 5 or 6-year-old.
Yeah.
Immediately after that, all of these kids start acting like they're 30.
Yeah, when they do the one additional age, I think they came of age in the cave. So at some point they lose this super hot but super like bitchy, like wanting to preserve her, I don't know, beauty.
She had a calcium problem. She said it
Yeah.
7 times, and that's
Yes.
why her bones are that way.
Right.
She turned
but,
into
but it
the
doesn't make any
Yorona.
sense
Yes.
because she literally turns into a monster. Like she's so concerned about her looks, and she basically is
La
throwing
Llorona.
rocks at them because they go
Karen.
into the cave, and the cave of the Karen, and the Karen's pissed because you're looking at her, and she's all old now, and she got her hump back. She was
Then she
concerned about
does like a
humpback.
full circle. I was laughing at this part.
Yeah,
Yeah,
me
you're
too.
not
This is the
supposed.
part
You're
where
supposed
I
to be
was-
terrified.
She
You're
picks up a
supposed to be
rock and then it
terrified.
falls on her own arm, so her own arm breaks. But then it heals because we're going super fast, right? So it heals in a fucked up position. But then as she's crawling, she's like, "Don't look at me, don't look at me." But it's like you're coming
But she's
towards
spinning
me.
in a circle.
And then all of a
She's
sudden,
like,
here's where it turns
"Oh."
like it's like, okay, now this is a cartoon. she's breaking her own bones. She's in pain, but yet doing it to herself. It doesn't make any fucking sense. It's just so that we could get the reveal of a totally mangled body. And
Yes. So you see that she's like, oh my god, in pain. I'm trying not to laugh, and then the guy lights a match. You see her, she's like a fucking pretzel.
Yeah, and she's like
She
twitching
looks like
and
this.
stuff.
There's fucking
the moment
cartoons.
you were gonna laugh.
I was laughing because like it looks like a fucking those cartoons when you swat a fly, the fly's like me.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my god, that was hilarious.
Yeah. I kind of liked it in the body horror kind of way, and
But they
I
could have done
understood
it
what
better.
I understood what they were doing, but it just felt tonally, separate from the entire movie. It's like, okay, we're not getting scary enough with this premise, so let's just have a lady turn into a monster and do stupid
fly,
shit to chase the
She
people.
wasn't even one of the test subjects. She just went crazy.
Yeah. Well, I think they are actually testing the
They're all-
mental subjects
yeah.
as well.
Well, because she was
People
there
that
with
are
the.
susceptible and medicines that they give them in their cocktails obviously didn't work.
Yeah. So because they were there because the husband was a violent schizophrenic. He had just been diagnosed with schizophrenia, and that's why the racist doctor, went off and stabbed everybody.
Okay, so you know, as they go along, they try several things. People try to swim to, you know, get around the cove, and they end up dying. And so how essentially, okay, well, the family has some internal conflict. There's some subplots here that they were gonna divorce.
Yes.
But they wanted to go on one last trip. And also the mother has a medical condition, cancer, and it could be benign, but it's growing, we don't know. And on the beach, the benign cancerous growth grows really fast. And the
It's
doctor
like, oh, it's the
cuts her
size
out.
of a golf ball.
Yeah.
Oh, softball. Oh, it's a melon.
Yeah,
It's like,
by
oh,
the time
shit.
it comes out, it's a fucking
Go,
huge rock. It's
baby.
nasty. Yeah. But it can be done because everything heals super fast, and they even have to stick their hands in there so that the
It's like,
wound doesn't
you gotta
heal up.
keep moving it. That was pretty cool. So you gotta keep moving it.
Yeah,
'cause
you
if
keep
not-
jiggling the massive open wound. It's like,
Let's
ew.
go, gross.
That was
It's a
gross.
good
So
thing it
more
didn't heal
body-
immediately like that lady's bones.
More
'Cause-
body horror, right? But anyways, so you know, but they managed to appreciate their time together, sort of come clean. Turns out the wife had been cheating, and
But he knew.
But he knew. But at the same time, he still loved her, and she kind of loved him. I don't really
That was
know.
this is
That
the
was
only
the
part of
whole-
the movie that I thought was actually done
Yeah,
pretty well, right? Like you have this emotional connection with the family. They're appreciating their time. They're like, look, we're not getting off this place. Let's just be a family unit. There's no person I'd rather be here with than with you. And if they had really like gone in on that and done more of it, I think this movie could have been better for me. But by this time, when they're like, I love
she starts
you.
going deaf,
He's
and
going blind,
he's going
and then
blind.
the racist monster who hasn't aged at all up until this point.
Yeah.
Because he started old.
Doesn't make any sense. Yeah.
That's
then
what I'm
so-
saying.
and
Like
The only thing that aged was his racism.
Yeah.
His mind. That's
the
only
father
thing.
loses his vision. The mother loses
And
her
you can
hearing.
visibly see like the wrinkles on them, but on the doctor you don't.
They needed him to turn into a monster.
But
in
he
order
could
to make
use
it. So he's a racist monster, comes up trying to stab the guy. They're healing while being stabbed, so that's kind of scary because you could be killed for a while or whatever. Didn't really work.
Oh, he did.
Besides that.
Well, no,
They
maybe
stabbed his heart.
because his blood can't clot. He was there because his blood. He's a hemophiliac. His blood
Well,
didn't
also
clot.
like they were stabbing
Nothing makes
his
sense.
chest, though. The guy was just slashing here.
Man, they had 5 hands inside that woman's stomach. You think it's a little tiny like?
Don't
Again.
about this movie.
Yeah.
So don't think too hard about it because there's a lot of
But I wanted also
Okay.
too, like that guy, or the dad, was like, oh, why would we find? That's right, you were cheating on
You're
her.
a bitch with an asshole.
Cheating.
No, he accepts her.
She
And he even said, you know, he's a
Yeah.
pretty romantic guy, but if it had
But
to be
that
somebody, I don't want it to be that guy. I want to tell you I love you, but I forgot the word. She doesn't really say she kind of sucks for him.
But I didn't,
He's quite clearly not the one wearing the pants in the relationship. She was like, all right, well, I guess.
You
It's supposed to
fucking
be
would.
more than that. She smiles, he smiles, they come together, yes. They
She
love
smiled
each
because she's
other,
deaf
blah,
and she
blah,
can't hear what he's saying, and she's just going,
blah. Uh-huh. But she saves her husband with
Oh,
a
nice.
rusted
Request.
knife because rust essentially acts as a poison if you don't get it out and it's accelerated.
Yes, and she knows that because she's a museum curator. Because this is the 7th time she's told you that she works in a museum, and that she knows how bones age on the beach in a magic science
cherish
forest.
this time.
It
beach.
sets everything off because they found a floating dead body in the water. Some lady
Dying.
at the beginning takes all of her clothes off,
but
and
you see
she's like super hot, and so she goes into the water, and you think, oh, well, this is like a super exclusive beach or whatever, or this is going to factor in differently. But it turns out she took her clothes off for no reason. She was trying to get to around the cove. And
Nice.
Yeah, she was there with mid-sized sedan,
Yeah,
and
they
he
were
didn't
there.
age the entire first day that he was there.
They made a joke about it.
at no
Black
point.
don't crack.
Black don't
Oh,
crack.
I was about to say, like, did anybody notice that the black people did not?
They
Black
made multiple
don't
jokes about
crack.
it.
That's what they said. They
Yeah.
said,
Yeah, I kept looking
now
for
they're
at
like-
least some gray hairs or
A
some
little
wrinkles.
bit,
No, I
but-
didn't see nothing.
No, so mid-sized sedan looks at the woman. He's like, I bet this is the first time that any of these people wish that they were black. And I was like, all right, that's kind
And
of
you know
funny.
That
what?
was funny,
It did
yeah.
get a laugh from the audience.
yeah.
The
I
audience
enjoyed
laughed
that. I
at
was like,
that.
yeah, that's
Black
pretty
don't
good.
crack.
funny.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that. All right, well then that's about.
Nope, that is
No, we
not
gotta
it.
talk about what Joe
Okay,
was
so
disappointed with.
after that, the parents died, old age.
Yes.
The kids come back. They're like probably like in their 40s, 50s.
50s, yeah.
It's like, all right.
And
they're
this is
just,
where they're
like,
acting
trying
like
to-
adults at this point.
Yeah, they're like just like, all right. So what do we do now? Do we try to escape? It's like, oh,
I guess their brains develop, Alex, to a certain point that they're probably
Educating
mid-20s.
themselves, like automatically
mid-20s.
educating themselves, and they get new vocabulary and they like new mannerisms
They didn't
and speech
show any of
patterns.
that.
And
well, yeah, because they're like,
You're going excessive.
they're like, do you think kids our age or people our age still think like kids? I was like, no, because you didn't have a fucking mortgage, you don't have bills, you didn't have anything to deal with, like fucking real life stress.
Yeah.
So no, you
So
are
they're like,
completely
should we-
different.
Should we continue to get off the island? Yes, but first let's make a
It's-
sandcastle.
you have to.
I was
you
gonna
have
say
to have
we
that
don't
scene.
have time.
Well, you have to build the sandcastle because that's the name of the graphic novel.
Sandcastle?
It's called Sandcastle.
See,
Like,
this
seriously,
guy
that-
has extra context, so he basically adapted, a better story and did it his own.
Yeah, which I think it would have been a great, like you said, like a little short like, TV show or something like that.
Again, saying the subcontext of it is, appreciate the time that you have, and they are appreciating the time that they have, even though it is fucking horrible. They just fought a monster. Their fucking parents died. Everybody's aging. Everybody's dead, gone, and dead. But yet
me,
they
so
want to
rude.
make and laugh about a sandcastle and throw sand at each other. And no, that's not what happens.
Hey,
but
remember
it pretty much
yesterday?
might
Well,
happen.
pretty much. At the very beginning, too, before the kids go in, well, the kids are going to get breakfast or something like that. He meets the uncle's
The evil science
evil
guy's
scientist's
nephew.
He's like, hey, we're gonna be best friends. He's like, no, I don't have any friends. You're gonna leave. They all leave. Shifty eyes. He's like, all right, we'll become your friends. Here's a decoder. We're friends now. So
Secret
he
spy
secret messages. Then he realizes he has one in his, I don't know what he brought it.
Magical backpack that showed up on the beach magically.
Decoder stuff. Previously, he's shown decoding a message when they're, 6-year-olds. The
Yeah,
ice cream party
Because while they're
tomorrow.
making their sandcastle, she's like, "Whoa, why don't
But he
you
made another one.
decode this?" He's like, "Oh, decode."
What did the message say?
My uncle doesn't like coral.
Coral!
I would have read that as like, yeah, fucking coral's probably an asshole. All right, let's build a sandcastle. I was thinking, okay.
You're a child. Okay, but
What's
then
they were?
they noticed coral off in the distance.
And they don't know who his
said-
uncle is. They were
They
6.
said, that's what we can make a suit out of. Because earlier they said, well, what if it's it's a magnetic field or whatever's going on with the minerals and certain properties. Why don't we build a metallic suit and we can walk through it?
My dumb ass was thinking, I was like, holy shit, remember the pasta and everything? Everything was still fresh. I'm gonna make a soup.
That actually is not a bad idea.
Because, like,
John.
everything was fresh. She's like, oh, you want some pasta? The girl's like fucking
Not
20.
a suit out of the pasta, Joe.
I know.
A suit out of the
That's
metal
what I was
material.
saying. That's what I was saying. That's what I was like thinking. Because like she grabs the pasta. The pasta's
Sure.
still fresh. The
Right.
food's still fresh. I was like, the bag's all over me and start walking. That's what I was
That's good.
thinking already.
Because the bags were effective because they kept the food so fresh, is what you.
Well, they were
Oh,
metal.
They were, it
They were
was metal
insulated.
too.
Yeah,
it
they
was
were insulated.
Because that's the only thing that didn't
That
really
would have
age.
been genius. I wonder if that's what they were thinking about doing. But as soon as they see the coral, they said, let's go grab some of that or something. Let's just
Well, I didn't know what
do
to
the
do with the
coral.
coral.
We'll go through the coral. But I don't know what he was thinking, but it just so happened that there was a little secret passage through there, and I guess he got the idea instantly when he saw it. I must go through this passage. I don't know how long I've been holding my breath, but let's just do it.
Yeah.
So then they go under. His sister gets caught, and then he comes back to help her, and you think they die. You think they die because they,
M. Night.
they ran out of
Because the
air.
M. Night character's a moron.
Then we
thinks that they drowned.
shift perspectives, and it's M. Night is the guy that drove them out there, and he's also the guy with the binoculars and camera recording everything. He's a science guy, and then we follow him back to the science scene, and then it does the twist and the thing, but then it turns out that they didn't drown. They found an air hole where they took some air, and they came out up another way. And in fact, at the beginning of the film, because he was so curious and he was, my name is Ed, what is your occupation? To everybody that he met, there was a cop there. He remembered there's a cop that didn't get invited to the island, so he's perfectly fine. He goes and tells him, here, gives him this book, this diary that somebody wrote. The cop would look through the diary like, that's an interesting sci-fi story, and throw it away.
Yeah.
But no, apparently.
It's like all the missing people.
Yeah, it's all the missing people. He calls them up, and they are in fact
Maria
missing. So he's
Shola.
like, oh, we gotta arrest these people. And at the same time, another family comes in with a van, and here's your cocktails.
Hold on,
Somebody
already.
knocks over the cocktails. It's our
kid.
It's the kid that we've been following, and he's like, don't believe anything they say, blah blah blah. And then they go on a little speech. Cut away. We see it in the security footage. Everybody's
Our
freaking out.
enemies will
and,
fall.
they get arrested, and then the helicopter shows up. The kids are on the helicopter, and they're, I guess, showing the spot of the beach so that the
We will
government can
have
take it
justice.
over, and then the same thing can happen all over.
Your gold is welcome here.
The
They
Pittsburgh
never
Pop-
imply that, but that's
No.
what's gonna happen.
Well, again, I don't know why I keep thinking about this. They
Stop,
said,
stop, please.
I know, but they were like, well, we only had that one incident. I was like, who? Who was it?
He drowned. Didn't matter.
No, they
Oh,
said we
yeah,
had one
they-
person
that one
escape.
person-
What? But he
escaped.
drowned. They
So
said
they-
that he drowned afterwards.
No, I remember they mentioned something about drowning, but they did mention that somebody got out. Wait a minute, but he drowned anyway.
Yeah,
Okay.
he drowned anyway is what they said. Or they could have just been like, these are two crazy
or
people.
he's trying to set up a prequel that we could see, or a
Oh,
sequel.
God,
I
no.
think it's a self-contained story. You just
Well,
watch
it's
it.
just like everything he said.
Twilight
It's
episode.
basically in the film. It's like, oh, you gotta take. It's like, oh, don't you guys get old on
Only
me.
have water?
It's like, oh, you
No
gotta
milk?
cherish this time we have now. It's like, oh, somebody
Are you
escaped.
joking?
Is that gonna be relevant later?
No.
You better
I
have
thought I had
fucking
good
milk.
tension all throughout because I was trying to figure it out. There were moments that
Everything has
lost me. That's why I think it's mixed. And the ending, you're either gonna hate it or you're gonna think it's, hey, at least you went full on and you explained everything and you wrapped it up. But forgettable in the end. Okay. Okay. Well, thank y'all so much for watching. That's old. Probably wait until it comes out on Netflix. But once it gets there, you might have a good time with it. So
I was thinking about so many ways to get off that beach.
like. I
One
like
of
to
them-
hear Joe,
one
so
of
that
them
was a
was my-
great one. Man, I want Joe on my side of wherever fucking
Just
stranded.
in case, man.
Fucking lunchbox, fucking suits and shit.
It's magnets.
What's another way?
Oh yeah, what was the other one?
Tarzan swinging ropes, fashion a rope from leaves or something.
Fuck, I forgot. But yeah, that was my main one. If that didn't work, I guess we're fucking
Sure,
dead.
I'm sure there's some
Because there's no way I
creative
could hold my breath that long.
under the coral.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I can't. I can barely swim, Joe. I swim
I
all.
would have grabbed the coral and just wrapped,
Yeah.
rub it on yourself.
So that's what I thought they were gonna
He
do. I
doesn't
thought they
like
were gonna
it.
swim out to the coral to build something
'Cause, like,
and then
how-
walk through the area.
Oh, they should have, because one kid was sick. One of the characters was 6, and the other one is 11. And like they were like, my he doesn't like the coral. It's like, well, let's break it. Because we're 6 and we don't understand who the fuck this
Yeah.
guy's uncle is, or he's evil. Because we, as the audience, know the
I didn't
uncle's evil.
understand what they were going for, but apparently that's what they refer to later in like one line of dialogue, that somebody managed to swim under the coral. Why he was swimming under the coral doesn't make any fucking sense to try to get away, but he made it out, but then he drowned, and then he doesn't like the coral because that's...
And they never plugged it up. You have a fake resort on top of your science experiment,
That's what I'm
and you
saying.
don't
Like,
plug
the
up
more
the
you
coral.
think about it, you're like, no. Stop
Look,
it.
Did you know
M. Night
the
didn't think
coral
about it.
counter-
We shouldn't think about it.
All right. Anyways, that's it. Or we're going to go an hour, and I try to keep these things
All right.
short and cut y'all off. All right. Anyways, thank y'all
You
so
let me
much.
know how you would escape.
Let us know creative ways that you think you would get off the...
Wait,
hot air
really? Not gonna let me
balloon,
like? I have to.
Make a
You
hot air
pass.
balloon.
How?
There's got to be a
Make
way.
a hot
Make
air
it out of all the,
The
bikinis
towels?
and yeah, the
I have to
towels and
right
the
click
and
and then
everything.
click
Fine.
back in to get there.
We can
Just
figure
where
it
are you
out.
gonna get helium? I don't know. Anyways, bye guys. So as you can see, we are in the new studio now, guys. This is the first Angry Review in the new place, so please forgive a little bit of sound echo and a little bit of yellow color. I'm going to switch out the lights, and I'm going to get curtains and studio equipment. I'm looking for, you know, the sound dampener. So please forgive it for this time, but this is a really, really awesome review. I was working on it
You know what always makes me feel better about my own terrible opinions? Taking a fat dump on someone else's. What's up, everybody? This is the Act Man here, and today we're going to be looking at even more gaming hot takes. I will warn you, these are boiling hot, scalding, burning hot takes. Mass Effect isn't political enough.
Oh no.
Doom Eternal hates women? People really seem to enjoy that other video I made, so why not do it again? There's no shortage of hot takes. Now I must warn you, this video might be a little political. He said the P word? Sorry, your cis white woman protagonist isn't progressive. Oh no. Years of game development wasted. It's not progressive. What I like about this article is you don't even have to read a single word of it to know they have no idea what they're talking about. Let's play a little game called What's Wrong with This Picture? Protagonist? I'm sorry, who's the protagonist in Resident Evil Village again? Is it Lady Dimitrescu on her way to kidnap Rose? Is that what the game was all about? The future is bright for the current and upcoming crop of AAA releases. Other people are excited for these games because in their eyes, these games speak to a welcome shift in game culture as every one of these titles either stars or prominently features women. See, up until this point, just recently, women have never had a major role in video games because they were considered by, everyone as being too political for that sort of thing. So we really have been making progress, guys. We finally have leading, predominant female characters. But when I look at these games, my excitement dims into frustration. Though these games star women, all the women are white.
Oh my god, bro.
Or voiced by white actresses. Can I just ask real quick, does anybody actually give a shit about voice acting diversity? It doesn't even make sense. You're voicing a character that's not you. You're not there. Who cares what color your skin is if you can voice the character well? I remember this whole voice acting debate up on Twitter maybe a year and a half ago, and I'm kind of like, wouldn't it just be boring if you had to voice act a character that had the same skin color as you? Wouldn't that restrict opportunities for literally everybody? Isn't that the opposite of progress? I've actually got no problems with more females and more minority groups of people in video games or starring as main characters. Shocker, no. In fact, I'd like to see more of it myself. There really aren't many black female characters in gaming. But if I really wanted to see that vision come to fruition, I wouldn't be writing rage bait articles for Kotaku. I remember being crushed when my choices for Commander Shepard were blonde, brunette, redhead, and 2 paper bag test-passing tan women. Am I missing something? Does Mass Effect not have like a skin shader? Oh, it does. Why are you writing this again? It sucks when games forget about you. Almost 5 years after its launch, Overwatch, a game in which its colorful, disabled, and queer characters are a large part of its appeal, still doesn't have a playable black woman. Okay, bro, if you were gonna slam any video game for not being diverse enough, it is not Overwatch, okay? Are you kidding me? They got Donkey Kong in there. What more do you want? So the title implies that companies are trying to pander to people with diversity quotas, which is the lady writing this. Now, what's ironic is she's complaining that they're not pandering to her hard enough, while at the same time blasting them for apparently pandering to her. It's very confusing, but basically this lady's a total hypocrite. It's just an excellent stroke of irony. Despite the memes, I think most gamers aren't against diversity. I just think the people that are often pitching these ideas are doing a real shit job about it. But here's a real head scratcher for you. Why do games have to be progressive? And just how progressive do they need to be? Is there a limit? But I digress. What if video games were instead fun? Would that be enough? No, it wouldn't. Moving on. There was a pretty controversial tweet a couple weeks ago about Horizon Zero Dawn and Aloy. You probably saw this. Is it me, or Sony be making their lead female protagonist look masculine as hell? barely no curves or rough feminine features. Apex Alpha J, true to his name, shared his alpha male status in the replies. All I hear is bunch of beta males on here. Very unfortunate, more butthurt, I suppose. Oh god, you're so butthurt that I said something incredibly stupid. Oh god, I was just trolling you. You're just butthurt, you beta male. God, you're so below me. I get my dick sucked 12 times a day. Why is it when like these tough alpha males get criticized that they find it so necessary to just like constantly reply to shit and just be like, I'm so tough, y'all are just betas. Like, bro, you're wearing your insecurities on your sleeve. The replies are pretty golden. I will say I had a field day looking at these. The best one being the fan art that this dude uses was actually made to make fun of people like him. It's, God, so much irony today. There's like a million things wrong with this post. We can make fun of it for hours. But here's an idea. Given the setting of Horizon Forbidden West, you could probably assume makeup and looking pretty aren't big fucking priorities. These people have to kill robot dinosaurs to survive. Okay, you thought dinosaurs were scary? Now they're robots too. Who the fuck has time for makeup? Aloy's not even ugly, bro. Are you kidding me? You're acting like she needs an Instagram filter on her face at all times. She's a freaking, like, cave woman, Amazonian, survivalist, strong female character. And side note, what does it matter the prettiness of a character if the story is good? If the character's compelling, what does it matter how pretty they are? I mean, looking at the actions and movements Aloy performs, like, her body type is totally realistic for this kind of thing. Why are we even having this conversation? I mean, if all you want to see is strong feminine women in video games, there's a game for you, dude. It's called Dead or Alive Extreme Volleyball, okay? Just play that for 10 hours, get it all out of your system, and then shut up. Doom Eternal review. No girls or... Doom Eternal review. No girls or trans people allowed. You know, I'm not sure Bethesda ever said that. Why is there this obsession with, like, subjecting every type of entertainment and media to criticism if it doesn't check literally every single box? Like, every single type of person, human being on this planet needs to be represented in literally everything? That's not even feasible. Yes, good Sir Nicholas here writing this article genuinely believes Doom Eternal should have featured more trans and women characters. Well, here's a news flash. Trans people and women can enjoy a product that doesn't have trans people or women in it.
Impossible. Perhaps the archives are incomplete.
I will give the writers some credit as they actually do review Doom Eternal and talk about its gameplay, which is a lot more can be said for most of these types of articles. And if you're ever trying to sniff out if something is satire or not, look at its length. The longer it is, the less likely I think it is to be satire. Pax Deorium for 90s kids. It has girls and queer people in it, and open if optional sexual preferences. None of these things exist in Doom Eternal. Raise your hand if you would like the next Doom game to explore sexual preferences, and how that affects our society. Literally nobody. Just as I thought. After Trump's fucking here we go. However, it pandered to male gamers with a Marvel-esque vision of the world, replete with traditional gender roles tied to binary images of conventional war. Is Doom Eternal explicitly political? No. But politics and popular media are seldom directly linked in America. Politics and popular media are seldom linked in America. Have you heard of Star Wars? Did you know it was based on World War II? Look, man, I don't know how hard a concept this is for people to understand, but products and entertainment are marketed to specific groups of people. I know that my audience is mostly males aged 17 to 32. That's pretty much who I'm making content for. But people outside of that demographic could hopefully still enjoy it. I am not a makeup vlogger. I tried my hand at that and it went, well, here's the results. Yeah, awful, terrible. Let us never speak of it again. Nick, do you understand what a demographic is? can you acknowledge the NFL probably isn't going to be advertising tampons on Sunday Night Football? Is there any room for an old Doom fan like myself to enjoy the same game for my own reasons? Yes, but not through its dated treatment of gender and sex. Apparently that's my problem, not theirs. That is absolutely 100% your problem and nobody else's. I'm glad you are self-aware enough to realize that. The problem is, Doom Eternal ignores demons and video game violence as a realm for everyone, especially women and queer people. In Doom Eternal, they simply don't exist. The only two comments on this post, man, what the literal fuck is this shit you wrote? How in the hell do sex and LGBTQ people matter in a game about slaughtering demons? How would that even fit in? Bravo. A U.S. politician is trying to ban violent video games in Illinois following a rise in carjackings. So State Representative Marcus C. Evans Jr. is looking to basically restrict the sale of violent video games, among other things. Hey, Mr. Evans, did you ever hear the tragedy of Jack Thompson, the fucking idiot? Do you remember how spectacularly he failed in this very same category? It's like, bro, GTA 5 came out 8 years ago and people are still bitching about it. You can't just let Grand Theft Auto go. Leave it to politicians to use a dead horse as their scapegoat for all of society's problems. So, So this dude is trying to solve the problem of increased carjackings in the city of Chicago. A very admirable goal. Not a very easy one. Tell me, Mr. Evans, why are video games the best route? I feel like this game has become a huge issue in this spectrum. When you compare the two, you see harsh similarities as it relates to these carjackings. Please show me the similarities, Mr. Evans. Illuminate us on the scientifically backed research that led you to this conclusion. Evans said he hoped the bill would prohibit the sale of some of these games that promote the activities that we're suffering from in our communities. You know, I'm not sure what's worse, just completely ignoring a problem or trying to fix it in a way that is doing more harm. To all my homies in Illinois, let's vote this motherfucker out. Mass Effect, an amazing trilogy of games, and I cannot wait for a fourth one to come out. I think one was in development, but it ended up getting canceled in 2017. It was a real shame, you might not have heard of it, but either way, these games offer players loads of freedom and customization and romance options. It is a very inclusive game, and it succeeds at doing that. But being one of the most inclusive games naturally makes them a target for people complaining they're not inclusive enough. Mass Effect is the best game ever, if you are a bigot. I realize there's a business in posting garbage to the internet with the sole intent of making people so angry they click on it. So alright, Norm, I'll play your little game. I would say the most obvious problem with Mass Effect is its backwards romance system. This thing is an incel's wet dream. I don't really have words right now. I think I've been had. This website is called inclusivegamers.com. The bigoted truth, in all caps, behind Animal Crossing New Horizons. Yep, this is satire. Well, you got me. You got me good. Well, let's wrap this up by looking at something equally as stupid, yet not satire. If it isn't coming from Kotaku, then it's Polygon. Mass Effect's revival reminds us it's time to abolish the space police. Let me guess, Yusuf, I take it that this product released in 2007 and the following years upsets you because it doesn't perfectly reflect the social landscape we live in today. You are bothered that Mass Effect does not discuss the problems you only started caring about a year ago. Perhaps we do not live in a society, as they say. After the wave of protests last summer following the police killings of George Floyd and Breonna Taylor, the topics of defunding the police began to see more frequent and serious public discussion. Wow, Yusuf, you sound very passionate about this subject. Might I suggest, if you want to write a piece about police reform, write a piece about police reform. This is a gaming news website, or so I am told. Shepard and the crew are always some version of glorified space cops. How then might an abolitionist perspective impact a series like Mass Effect? Honestly, what Yusuf and the Illinois State Representative are doing is the exact same thing. You're seeking a solution to a problem through a method completely disconnected from that problem. How are we going to fix the economy after the pandemic? Plant more grass. That'll do it. I hope you all appreciate the burden I go through in reading this junk. Despite openly being against police and saying Mass Effect should abolish them, This dude also says at the end, the series wouldn't be the same if you did that. So what was the point of this? Is your job to waste time? Is that what you enjoy doing? Not that you can't examine games from a social or political view, but try to line them up. Resident Evil 4, has a pretty clear underlying theme of America interfering with other countries and stuff. Why not talk about that? At the end of the day, I'd rather bitch about a main menu or an inventory system or this one annoying glitch than try to create issues in video games where none exist. But that's just me. So yeah, those were some more gaming hot takes. Hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you did. And you know what? Post your own hot takes in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to The Act Man for more awesome content. Alright everyone, that's all I got for today. This is The Act Man signing out. Peace!
120, Jesus.
Since the
movie, I want to be a movie star, and he's like, yeah, I really love my kids so much. I want the entire America to know that my
job security proves to me that American capitalism is broken as fuck.
It's like
job security.
You're like the little pterodactyl from Flintstones. Just smells Fred's shit. It's a living.
Oh god.
It's a
I forgot,
living.
He shits into a dude's mouth or into a bird's mouth, huh?
Now, if that's in the newest Space Jam, I imagine they own the fucking Flintstones property, and LeBron takes a shit, and then one of the birds smells it and goes, "It's a living." I mean, I might have to watch the movie. It's a good metaphor for LeBron James in general too.
A little animated bird brings him his sweat towel, and then he throws his sweat towel at it, and he just gets all in his face and eyes, and he gets soaked in LeBron's sweat, and he's like, "I gotta pay my child support and student loans."
What? And then LeBron, he grabs him a hammer and sickle and says, "Hey, come on, we gotta fight." You know.
Come on, we gotta take it to the corporations, but not China. That would be bad.
And then Bugs Bunny goes, "If you can't beat them, join them." Ba-da-ba-ba-da-bum. Fucking music.
And then he's just wearing like a red armband and like a Hitler mustache.
Yes, that'd be awesome. That's the kind of Space Jam movie I want to watch.
Yeah.
That sounds better than I guarantee you that what you just said is better than the actual Flintstone Space Jam movie.
Without a question.
I refuse to watch. I mean, we usually will watch a crappy movie, but that one, no. I ain't watching that.
For the record, for the viewers who are just tuning in, we were talking about this before we started streaming, but me and Madman have resolved not to watch the Space Jam new movie because if you do, it's like watching the Emoji Movie. You're giving money to the shit people that are making our movies worse if you watch it. Find a way. If you're gonna watch it, pirate it.
NorCal watched it. How dare he? He found a pirated version. Okay, good.
Okay. Well, we wouldn't.
Encouraging people to break the law. I'm pretty sure that's
Steal. I don't give a shit. Steal. I don't fucking care. Do what you want.
System of a Down got away with making it their title album. You know.
Yeah, but that's art. Is what we're doing art? That's a good question, actually.
That is a legitimate question right now.
Steal that movie.
Take everything we say with a huge amount of salt, but also listen to every word we say.
Yeah, some pepper too.
Yeah, good stuff. All I'm saying is, if the new Space Jam doesn't have Dumbland, I don't care. You know, just like I don't care about David Lynch's new project if it's not Dumbland Season 2. Crispy, all I've been hearing about it is that the new.
That's a lie. That was the biggest lie I've heard all week.
Yeah, it was a pretty big lie.
The government told me that they would help me, and that's definitely a lie.
I love David Lynch. I'll be very sad when he dies. I'll be legitimately depressed when he kicks the bucket because he's getting there. He's getting pretty old.
That's true. I wonder if is he like take good care of his health, or is he like a drinker and a smoker?
There's a video of him eating quinoa, so
he takes care of himself.
Yeah, he takes care of himself, I'm sure. Duo Vanoe. Van's using a different screen user, I imagine because your old account is fucked up, but how you doing, Van? NorCal says it was special. Yeah, from what I was told, the movie was nothing but just references. Hey, you guys like Big Chungus? Well, look, we drew Bugs Bunny to look like Big Chungus. Here's a reference to Rick and Morty, as if Rick and Morty wasn't obnoxious enough, like, by this point. Speaking of, I watched some of the new Rick and Morty episodes for the new season. It's like they're just trying to be, like, as overly gross and sexual as possible. It's like they're not even trying. They're just like, here, let's have a bit where Morty, like, fucks a horse and gives birth to, like, a horse sperm baby, and the sperm baby, like, flies into his sister's egg, and then he gets, like, an incest baby with Summer's egg.
What?
That's an episode, and it's like every episode consistently this whole season has just been that. Like, let's make things we'll make it progressively more and more creepy and grossly sexual, and we're just not gonna back off that. Every episode's been that. So they're like, it's like, yeah, I know, ripping on Rick and Morty's old hat at this point, but I'm just like, man, who's still watching this show? Oh wait, me, because I'm a fucking dumbass.
Hey, Mosey, you better play that goddamn game, damn it.
What the fuck is bonitis?
Bonitis is a very special disease that affects only your bones.
Also, did Van get a new account?
He says he's on his phone. He can't connect the main account to his phone.
Oh, that's That's unfortunate.
Yes, it is a kids movie. I guess with that understanding, Hukama, it's perfect. It doesn't deserve any criticism whatsoever. Every kids film is now officially a 10 out of 10 film like The Godfather. Great.
Wait a minute. We're forgetting about the troll in Central Park. That was a fucking terrible kid.
Yeah, nobody's under the impression that the old Space Jam was like great, but it was a weird off-kilter novelty for its time. Now it's just WB flexing how much property they own. They're like, look at all of these movies that we own. Look at all of these titles that we own. References. That's it.
I'm pretty sure it was a cynical money grab the first time around. Like.
Oh, definitely was. Definitely was.
Yeah. So I would say that it hasn't changed much.
No. The more things change, the more they stay the same.
Gotta love it.
But anyway, let's get started on Broforce.
Broforce.
It's a game about bros, and
all I know
they
is
use
that
force.
Hukama, they had that fucking thing. You know what? That shit still slaps to this day.
Sorry, Madman. Sorry, Madman. Whatever you just said right there was completely erased by the opening title scroll for Broforce.
Well, whatever. Fuck it.
Because
Broforce wants to silence me, I don't give a shit.
Because it opens up and I already went and tried to change the master volume for it, and it set itself back to 100%.
Are you shitting me? How are you gonna?
When I left the game.
Mr. Big Malls man here. He said, "Suck on my titties," like he wanted me calling me
all the time. Like,
I don't know.
Donnie, Chris, check out my Chrissy behind. It's fine all the time. I'm familiar with what he's throwing down there. Hey, there's a new Jackass movie coming out now.
Hopefully they die in this one.
Yeah.
My God.
If they don't die, then who gives a fuck?
Oh my
That'd be
God.
great. Like just Wee Man, he has a heart attack. And everyone's sad.
What else is in the Teaches of Peaches? That's what the motto will be.
Bunny Senpai lost 240 pounds. That is impressive, my dude.
He went off the grid. He fucking like disappeared and shrunk all of his neurons.
Oh, you didn't lose 240 pounds, stupid. He's down to 240.
Oh, he's sorry. He's down to 240. Still, either way, that's good.
Probably including his bunny too.
I can read. Shut up. It's not like I can't read.
Lost 240 pounds. Jesus Christ.
Hey, that would be impressive.
I mean, it would, but yeah.
NorCal says Ryan Dunn's coming back, but no Bam though. He too crazy. Ryan Dunn dead.
Yeah, no, he's dead. Dead as fuck.
NorCal likes gallows humor and dark humor, so that's.
Hey, I had this comic the other day. He said this. Hey, everybody, I lost 180 pounds during lap. Yeah, my anorexic daughter died.
Be like, hey, I just lost 110 pounds. My virginity.
My virginity, I don't get it.
I'm not.
Dumped a load of fucking 110 pound.
I'm not going to explain myself. I don't have to explain myself. Are you guys seeing Broforce?
Yes.
I see it. Yeah.
All right. Here, I want to try and turn down the audio of the game a little bit. It's really loud. I don't know if you noticed this, but and then check this. Watch. You can. It has an option to change camera shake, and you can take it down, right? So I'll take it down to 25%. But look what happens when I move away from it. It goes back up automatically. It's like, no, you're not taking the camera shake down. It's like a joke.
Oh, Devolver, you guys are so wacky.
They are very wacky. They're good. They're good blokes over at Devolver Digital.
Back up to 100%. That's kind of awesome, actually.
Yeah. They're like, no, you don't turn off screen shake for this game, bitch. Let's get started. We're gonna go start a new campaign. I'm gonna overwrite my old file. So how familiar are you with this game, Rolo and Madman?
I know of it. It's one of those shooters where you blow up shit and you have different action heroes from the 80s and 90s, and then how they parlayed away from copyright issues. As I probably just said, it's a parody.
Yeah, they managed to skirt the copyright and have all the reference humor in the world, but this time they don't have to account for it.
Is this the world map from
No, this is the world map where you get to fucking murder birds. Come here, you fucking little fucker!
Oh my god, you did it. Good for you.
Seagulls! Ugh! Everybody knows how I love seagulls and how I love murdering them, like in my favorite movie, Lighthouse.
It's a big ass bird. Seriously, it's like the size
Oh,
of
what?
fucking
Didn't you
LA,
not?
One of those birds.
That's true.
It's-
Also, your helicopter is gigantic.
Yeah.
Yeah, eat my ass, Alfred Hitchcock. I'll fucking kill your birds. I ain't afraid of no birds. I think you get an achievement for killing birds, so I'm gonna make this the first. That makes this the first bird killing simulator.
First 30 minutes of the game.
It's like a twin stick shooter right now, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, look, there's a number at the bottom of the screen.
That is a
What does that
good.
number
It is a number, Rolo. You're right. Can you say the number
can
1?
read. No.
Can you count to 2?
E?
He's like,
I can count to 2 in like a bunch of languages. So like, suck it.
I can do it 9 times. I'll kill all these birds. I know I get an achievement for killing them. If I don't kill these birds, I'm going to be really depressed.
Wait, so you're saying if you waste your time killing birds on the assumption that you get an achievement and you don't get an achievement?
Yeah.
Nice.
Halsey, NorCal's got a voice request.
Oh, okay. Here we go.
A scene from the new Space Jam movie, except instead of it starring LeBron James, it's on NorCal. It's either Ben Shapiro or Dave Rose.
Can it be Jordan Peterson? Because Ben Shapiro hurts my throat.
Okay, we'll lay off your throat. We'll do Peterson for you today.
Okay. So it's Space Jam feature Space Jam A New Age for, featuring Jordan B. Peterson.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Here I am in Nintendo World. Oh, wait a minute. I mean WB World. Wink wink. Oh no, here comes the character Bugs Bunny. I don't super like Bugs Bunny that much. Somebody be Bugs Bunny.
What up, Doc? I'm chewing a fucking carrot.
It's true. I am a doctor. I am actually a doctor of. I am a doctor of social science and clinical psychologist.
Ain't you a stinker? Wow.
Oh boy, you sure are a rapscallion. This is exactly what the neo-Marxists want.
Hey here, Peterson. Hold this bomb for me.
Okay. Oh boy, that sure is a pretty cool fuse going out there. Wait a minute. I feel like I'm having a prank pulled on me. Bomb goes off, leaving Jordan B. Peterson looking burnt. Oh no. This is exactly what the postmodernists wanted. There you go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play basketball now. Here we go. That was the laziest voice act I think I've ever done.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
It's been sorry, Crispy. It's been a week. It's been a week for me.
Hope that was worth your 100 souls. Where the hell
It's 1,000 souls.
I'm just saying, I have 57,000 souls. You need to up the price on those voice acts. Holy shit. Oh my god, that was so loud.
Yeah, you can't turn it down either. I think I can't.
You can't turn it down either. Great.
The only way for it to go is like
Holy
10%. Look, it's a 10% master volume, 10% music. Announcer we could probably turn off, and that's it. Yeah.
Well, deal with it. Let's go.
This is Broforce. It's a loud game about loud people.
Yeah. Here, when he picked up a life, it said on the screen, "Fuck lives."
Nobody needs them. I love how you can just pick up their corpses and do whatever you want with them.
Can you have your way with them?
Yeah. I'm playing as Arnold Schwarzenegger right now, so I can have my way with him. I like
can have-
coming and coming and coming and coming.
Can you? Is it one of those things where you can have your way with them as long as your way is violence?
Yeah.
America, fuck yeah.
Oh yeah. Now I'm playing as Mr. T, it would appear. He's got a flamethrower, and he's got some little shrapnel grenades. Oh, fuck!
Flamethrowers suck in video games. Can we all agree, right?
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but true.
Never work. I mean, really, like, flamethrowers suck in real life, too. They're only good for one thing.
trench warfare.
Killing the Vietnamese.
Murdering people inside of a building when you're not inside of the building.
Right. Like in a foxhole in Vietnam, right?
Or trench warfare in World War I.
Tunnel, yeah. Yeah, trench warfare. Bunker, like base, like concrete bunkers where the Germans are fucking machine gunning your friends. Yeah.
Yeah. For sure. Beyond that, they're not great. Never use flamethrowers.
You never use a flamethrower in your life?
No,
I mean, I
never
can't say
have.
I have either, so.
Oh, this game's adorable with all the dumb names. Kind of looks like Scott Hall here, though, on the HUD. Razor Ramon.
I think it said, no, it's not Razor Ramon. I think it said Bro Hard.
Yeah, Bro Hard, I know. Hey, remember that crappy movie, Spy Hard? Not Liam Neeson, Leslie Nielsen. God, was that garbage.
Spy Hard. I was just looking at a Leslie Nielsen movie the other day, but I think it was, was he Mr. Magoo?
Yep.
Oh God, that's right, he was Mr. Magoo.
Yeah, that wasn't a good one. Wrongfully Accused, that was another bad one. That was supposed to be a parody of The Fugitive. Yeah, it was sad, depressing times, those last few Leslie Nielsen movies. That stroke, he was still in movies after he had a massive stroke. It was pretty bad.
A massive stroke?
Yeah. Sorry, not to be cruel, but once you have a stroke, you shouldn't be in any kind of cinema or.
Well, you mean a stroke where you're like impaired in some way afterwards?
Yes. Yeah. It can't be used in any kind of entertaining media of any kind.
I mean, from that with that logic, I mostly agree with you. You also shouldn't be able to use someone who's dead's likeness in a movie.
Yeah.
That
Yeah. If
seems
you're
wrong.
dead, you can't be in a movie anymore. That's it. You're dead.
Yeah, unless they're like recognizing that you are in fact dead in the movie. That's This is a hilarious topic, by the way.
Stroke victims.
You know me, I've always loved stroke victims.
You like Tim Curry, right?
Yeah, Tim Curry's my favorite.
Yeah, he's probably my favorite stroke victim.
What about people who seem like they had strokes, but really they had motorcycle accidents?
Oh man, we're talking about Gary Busey then, if that's the case. Yeah, that poor bastard.
Yeah, I would not want to be Gary Busey.
Everyone laughs at him and goes, haha, he's so kooky and crazy. It's like, no man, he really did it. He
got
brain
a
yeah.
weapon?
Cracked his head open, brain fluid.
Oh, I didn't know they fucking had those. That's actually hella cool.
Haha, he's so silly and stupid. Oh.
By the way, reasons not to ride motorcycles.
You crash. Yeah,
Gary
100% of the time.
Reasons not to ride motorcycles. If you're not good at riding motorcycles, you're gonna probably live to regret it.
Yeah.
Well,
not everyone's Mr. Grimm, you know?
Yeah. Not everybody's an
If you're
undead.
lucky, you'll live to regret it.
Yeah. People talk a lot about Gary Busey, but I don't know how many people have seen his son, Jake Busey.
He's got the same teeth.
He's got the same frightening disposition.
Yeah.
Where there's like a certain intensity to him, and when he's in a room, you're like, man, I feel like Charles Manson is spying on me.
Yeah. I like intense people. Intense people are fun to hang out with.
Yeah, they're great.
I was talking to this guy the other day about him being stuck on a verdict, a 3-week verdict to a murder case, and he was really amped up, worked up, and intense. He was still feeling the effects of it, and I wanted to get away from the conversation. So I was like, we're at this one bar, like, hey, at this very bar Friday, I'm having an open mic, so you should be there. You know, you need some levity in your life.
Did he take your advice?
Hopefully. We'll see if he shows up.
Blah, blah. These little guys scream and they explode and they go, ah! Ah!
They make silly little noises.
This is a great little game.
Glory to the Sindora. Keep your wits about you.
It's really, I don't know if you can tell by looking at it, but it's fun and it controls like, mwah, like beautiful, beautiful gravy.
We will persevere.
The pinnacle of terrorist jimming technology.
He's just an angry, mean bad guy. He's not a parody of anything.
Who's to say he's angry and mean? Maybe he's really happy. He's got a big, expensive gun. I'd be happy.
He's
if I
happy
got
about
you.
his gun. Yeah, he's happy about his physique too. He's been working out. He's been working out his whole life to get to that physique. You know.
Moles, I thought you said you hadn't seen a comic get kill.
I haven't.
There's a character that is exactly the thing you just described in that movie, in that show.
He's super happy to be firing guns.
Yeah, except instead of a gun, he has a flamethrower.
Man, he sounds like a bro. I love this man.
He is. He's actually like the best girl in that show, or one of the shows.
He's got to be really love his flamethrower. He'd be like, Flammenwerfer.
No, he has a wife and a daughter. I think he has it's a daughter, and like it's actually really wholesome. And he dies at the end. It's great.
I wish I'd be.
deserves to die.
I
He's a
wish.
bad person.
I wish I'd be willing to suffer through that show.
The problem with that is that he's actually a terrible person because he uses his flamethrower to purge like innocent like villagers. But he's actually like he's like the pinnacle, or he's like a perfect example of like a horrifying like Nazi or fascist or whatever. It's great.
Nice. oh, anime. Oh, anime. Oh, Japan and your obsession with Axis powers.
Hey, they're just obsessed with the era where they got bombed. That's all.
Yeah. I mean, you would be too if you got bombed.
We're still obsessed with like the early 2000s because we got airplaned or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. It has an effect on you, man. Speaking of getting bombed, I ordered the Showa era Godzilla films, all of them.
Nice.
Oh wow.
Because the Criterion's deals are still going on, and it's the only time of the year that I'll be able to get that for $100 instead of $300.
Oh my God. You got expendable income right now, my friend. That's the case.
But it's every Godzilla film. It's every every
okay.
Godzilla
What did I
film.
just say? What did I just say? Okay. Ditto. All right. That doesn't explain yourself.
Don't call me out, madman. That's telling people they need to rob me.
Someone come rob Moles.
Someone come rob Moles. Damn it, you roped me into it, Rolo.
I gotta admit, all those Godzilla movies, it's kind of the same. Gets out of the ocean, new monster starts fighting them, and then they fight at the end. And then Godzilla wins, he goes back in the ocean, and ends with the little boy going, "We love you, Godzilla, come back!"
It's true.
Yeah, that's about it.
A lot of them are kind of the same. Some of them have better sound effects than others. And some of them, and it's weird how much the Godzilla outfit changes in between each movie.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like, the original Godzilla, best one. Best movie. Best one to watch. And it's the one that takes itself kind of seriously, so it's like more of a horror film than a campy, schlocky battle monster movie.
The trauma of getting nuked.
Color fucked up those Godzilla movies.
Yeah, and then they did the sequel, Godzilla Strikes Again, which is kind of just the exact same thing that happens in the first Godzilla, except for I think the way they defeat him is a little less contrived. And then they start going into it more, and then it gets into the color ones, and it's like Ghidorah versus like Godzilla versus Mothra, Ghidorah versus Mothra, and